Hi, welcome to my short video series where we're going to be discussing going beyond the golden rule. We're going to briefly talk on the subject of the five love languages as well as the disc communication styles. Now, when we're growing up, we often hear this expression, treat others the way you want to be treated. And to a child, that's great advice. But as you get older and you start interacting with people in more advanced settings, and you try to love people in more advanced settings than that of a child, that rule only gets you so far. And I think it's important to recognize that the way I want to be treated might be different from how you want to be treated, and vice versa. For example, if we look at the five love languages for a moment, and let's say that my love language is quality time together, and your love language is words of affirmation. Now, by default, we are really good, I feel, in this current culture at knowing what our love language is. Everyone's so quick to go take the test. Everyone's so quick to learn what their love language is, and they often share it with people like, oh, look, I'm this, I'm this. And that's great, that's good to know. But it's more important to know the love languages of those whom you want to love around you. Your friends, your family members, your spouse, your children. This is where love language truly shines. For example, if I am quality time and you are words of affirmation, you might be your knee-jerk reaction to want to love somebody is to tell them how much you love them. Tell them how much they mean to you, which is great. You're just trying to love them in the way that feels most comfortable to you. But to that other person, for me in this example, it feels nice when you say that, but it doesn't express the love that you're trying to send. Now, on the other side of the coin, if I'm trying to show love to you and I love quality time together and I say, let's go on a hike together, let's get in the kayak and go, and that's not your love language, yeah, sure, it feels great and nice when you're out there, but you're not receiving that same level of love that you're trying to get in return. So what I think is important to recognize is that love languages are a way of communicating, not just something that you are, that you know and you become, but rather it's important to understand that you need to learn the love languages of those around you. That way you can love them in the way that they want and need to be loved. And I think if anyone really does love somebody, then of course they'll learn that. It's about becoming bilingual in a certain sense in that love language. That's not your primary. For example, I love explaining to people when I served my mission in Brazil and Florida, I was teaching the Brazilian people. And to be able to teach the Brazilian people, I had to learn Portuguese. It does not matter how much I loved the people, my convictions for the gospel, or anything other than I needed to learn Portuguese. If I was speaking to them how much I loved them, how much I cared for them, and about the gospel in English, it doesn't matter if they can't understand me. And so that's why it's really important to listen to those around you, learn their love languages, and try your best to become bilingual in love languages. Furthermore, in the DISC model, which we'll dive into deeper depth at a later time, it's important to recognize that the way I communicate might not be the way that you communicate. For example, I, as you might be able to tell, am a very fast-paced talker, communicator, and so when I want to receive information and talk with other people, oftentimes it works really good if we're having a very fast-paced dialogue, going back and forth and back and forth. We're kind of just having a fun game of ping pong of words. But to another person, they might be a lot more task-driven, a lot more methodically paced. And when I come wrecking ball into their situation and I start just yabbering off at them, I can come off as not the person they want to communicate with. So it's important that when you're interacting again with those whom you work with, those whom you love, those who you're trying to build a better connection with, it's important to recognize how does this person want to be loved and how does this person want to be communicated with? What can I change about my communication style to better reach them? And how can I best change my desire for love, my desire to give them love, instead of it being what my default setting is to receive love, how can I change it to how they feel love? So I hope you'll stay with me in this 3-part series as we discuss in further depth the 5 love languages and how to become bilingual in the other love languages that are not your primary, and how to become a better communicator through the DISC model.